I believe that, we come from the soil, made and shaped and formed, and then we return back to the soil. Very much the same way we're transforming these materials that were once a rock or a rock-like material, and then how it's been weathered and changed, and then we're creating it back into a rock. You look back at the history of the potters going out and digging clay in the area. They had a horse-drawn wagon, and they used a pickaxe and a shovel to harvest the clay. But today we have a lot of modern amenities with backhoes and dump trucks and other things that are a little bit easier for us to be able to harvest the materials. But once that clay is harvested and brought back on a vehicle to our facility here, we take and allow that clay to dry over a period of time from 6 months to a year. For some people, landscapers and other occupations, dirt has many different meanings, but for potters, this is called gold dirt. And then we want to break it down and pulverize it into a powder. We'll take that material and condition it to a consistency where we can take and mix and blend it.
When we mix it up with water like this, we want to make sure that we're breaking down the chunks of clay into a real smooth slip.
Clay platelets are more elongated. Instead of thinking of brown, kind of pebbly under a microscope, they're actually platelets. So it's almost like weaving together these different types of clays. So this clay is a little more sticky, and we use this to bond the rest of the clay recipe together. So we'll take all those ingredients, whether it be 2 or 3 clays or a half a dozen clays we put in a recipe. There are a lot of parallels to making a cake, having the right proportion of ingredients within that recipe to make that successful. And a potter has to do the same thing. One of the primary reasons that we mix our clay in a liquid format is it's easier for us to deal with. It's not so dusty. The wetness allows us to pass it through a screen about 3 times as fine as a window screen would be, and it will catch any of that debris, the roots and rocks and other impurities that we find naturally in the clay when we harvest it from the ground. We feed it into a machine called a filter press. And the filter press is pretty much doing reverse osmosis. Over a period of time, about 12 to 14 hours, we will gradually increase the air pressure, and basically we're driving that water off of the clay by forcing it through the cotton canvases and allowing the clay to cake up and become more of a wet solid. And from there we will feed it into a pug mill. We'll take and do one last conditioning of the clay, and almost like a sausage grinder in a way, but it just takes and chops and blends the clay one final time prior to being used on the potter's wheel.